hope, passion, resilience, purpose, struggles, triumph, motives. Every person has a story, a reason for being who they are. If we take the time to listen, we can begin to understand their unique way of seeing the world. Welcome to the second chapter of the My Story podcast. I'm your host, Ari. Welcome back to yet another episode of the My Story podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment. I know I sound like a YouTuber, but if I don't say it, y'all won't do it. So please do. And obviously today we have another episode, and I'm kind of excited for this one because I've met this person before, and obviously I think a lot of people have met him, or at least he always stands out because he always dyes his hair differently. And I think that's how he caught my attention. I'm like, why does he have Starry Night in his head? But before I get into that, I have to introduce him first. Hello, Kyler.
Hello, Ari.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. It hurt me a little bit that you said you're only kind of excited to see me today on the pod, but...
No, that's just a saying. I am really excited. You know, we've been planning this for weeks. I've been holding off on asking you so many questions just because I was like, I really want to have an honest reaction on the show. So I'm excited that you said yes, that you're here. And let's get into it. What's your name? Do you have a story to your last name by any chance?
So honestly, this will probably be my most boring response. My name is Kyler Messenger, and I do not know the story behind my last name. One of my number one life goals is to get an ancestry test. I haven't done that. My family's against that. I don't know why. I bring it up to my parents probably once a month. Let's get an ancestry test because I'm not trying to pay out of pocket for that.
Okay.
But they're against it. They're not against it. They're just like, whatever. And I'm like, I don't know where my name's from. I think it's technically a German last name, Messenger. Okay. It's kind of a mix of everything, German, English. You know, I'm not exactly sure where my name comes from.
Okay. So make sure you give us a follow-up on that because Messenger is an interesting last name, though.
It is. I like my last name.
Okay, cool. So let's start with the basics. What do you study, actually? What do you do? And obviously, if you guys do not know, he's one of the hosts on the Hot 5. If you haven't listened to them, go check them out.
Thank you. All right. Yeah, Hot 5 podcast. That is what I do. My major is multimedia journalism. And with that, it's just kind of come with the podcast stuff, right? So when I was in middle school, I had a YouTube channel. I called myself Kyler Perfect.
Okay.
I was inspired by Dude Perfect. And
makes sense.
Was a big trick shot guy growing up. I was always in my front yard playing basketball, just recording myself, acting like LeBron, acting like James Harden, just acting like these NBA players and doing impersonations. I think content creation has just kind of always been in me because I've been doing this water bottle flips and trick shots on YouTube since middle school. And that disbanded, and, I just always have kind of wanted to do content creation. So I came up to SEMO, and they give us this beautiful podcast equipment and great resources for us to use. And so I knew that I wanted to start something. So I've been working on Hot 5 podcast, which is available on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok.
Yes.
And I've also been working on a new series with the Southeast Arrow called This or That.
Oh.
Which I previously did in high school. I had kind of my own series for the high school's media page, and they posted on Instagram. And I kind of wanted to revive that and do something different with it, but do it again. So I brought the idea to SEMO, and they approved me. And that's really what I've been up to. I've just been making videos, editing videos, and studying hard.
Awesome. So, okay, I have to ask. I thought you were in TV and film. I never thought you were MMJ. So, if you're very involved with creative content, how did you decide to do MMJ? Do you do any writing as well, or?
Yeah, I'm interested in writing. I wouldn't say it's my favorite subject. I like the video stuff more, but my dad is a journalist. My dad is a professional journalist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch. So it's not that he's necessarily instilled me to be a journalist, but from all the life experiences that I've had with him and everything that I've seen from him kind of made me want to be more of a journalist. So I don't know if I want to be a writing journalist, a Metro columnist like he is, but the journalism stuff is very interesting to me, and I really like the degree here. Multimedia journalism degree here is very nice, and I think it's a great program.
Awesome. So what year are you in?
I'm a sophomore.
You're a sophomore.
Third semester here.
Awesome. So you mentioned this or that. I've always wondered, what is that exactly? What do you do in that in that series?
So this or that is an idea that I came up with. I hate to say this. I really shouldn't say this. It's glorified Would You Rather, but it is.
It's glorified Would You Rather. Okay.
But it is so awesome. I sit on a table and I bring guests in. It's not like bring guests. I just sit outside of the UC and I just ask people walking by if they want to come get interviewed. 30-second interview. Usually people say no, but I'm like, yo, it's going to take 10 seconds. Come on. And then they're down for it. The first episode I did, I was asking if people liked Alvin and the Chipmunks or Madagascar better. I got other video ideas, other question ideas. But it's basically just a Would You Rather series where I'm asking contestants if they would prefer this or that.
Okay, that sounds really cool. Very entertaining, because I think sometimes when you're like talking with your friends and doing that kind of stuff, you ask those sort of questions. And if I may, I'm taking a second because you remind me of something. There was this one time I was sleeping at a friend's house and it was like 4 a.m. We hadn't gone to sleep yet and we were tired, but we were talking about like, you know what, you're tired, but you still talk about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And she was like so tired, almost about to go to sleep. And she was like, who's faster, Lightning McQueen or Turbo? And then we had to have a whole debate about it. So
I love the debates. Yeah, the debates are what really gets the show interesting, is when you have a good question and there's obviously two answers. And so when people are passionate about their subject or their side of the question is what I really love. That's a great question. If you don't mind, I might have to use that.
Please do. And can we do a poll? Like actually do a poll, like to see what they say?
I think we should do that because with the video, it's like I'm getting 10 people interviewed.
Yeah.
So that's a very small sample size. So if we do a poll, I think we could get more of a sample size and see what the public really prefers. I like that. It's a great idea.
Let's work on it.
Yeah.
But more into who you are. Obviously, one of the things that stands out more about you is your haircuts.
Yeah.
So before we get into, well, your haircuts are part of who you are at this point. Can you talk about when did you start dyeing your hair? And we were talking about this earlier, like how frequently and all that stuff. Can you just tell the whole story behind like your hairstyle?
Yeah, I'll give you the whole rundown.
Okay.
So it all begun in COVID, 2020. Everybody remembers COVID. So we're all home, and I know I'm not going in public. I know I'm not going to see anybody, and I was bored, right? I have natural brown hair. I wanted to bleach my hair. I wanted to see what it would look like bleached. So I bleached it, and this was my time as a freshman in high school. Did not know what I was doing bleaching my hair, and it was really bad. It was straight orange, like just an ugly orange. So I buzzed it off. I knew that I wanted to buzz it off. Then, that's just the start of the process, right? Just regular buzz cut. I grow my hair out. A year later, on the exact same date that I had buzzed it in COVID, I was like, you know what? Let's just buzz it again. Let's make this a tradition. So for the next 4 years, I buzzed my hair on April 24th. That's the date, every single year. And by the third year, let me word this better. All right, so I was buzzing my hair, and by the third year, I knew that I wanted to do something crazy with it. I've been buzzing my hair. I like buzzing it and seeing the regrowth. I think it's fun, and who cares in life? Who cares enough that I can't buzz my hair? You know what I'm saying? So I just kept doing that, and I saw on Pinterest somebody dyeing their hair with purple lightning bolts. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. Purple's my favorite color, and I saw purple lightning bolts on somebody's head, and I was like, wow, I need to do that. I told all my friends as like a sophomore in high school, I'm like, yo, I need to dye my hair like this. Nobody thought I was going to do it. Nobody thought it was going to happen. So April 24th comes up as I'm buzzing my hair, and I'm like, yo, why don't I just try it out? So I got two of my buddies, two of my really close friends to dye on my hair. It was atrocious. It was so bad. It was supposed to be purple and black polka dots. It just looked like a bunch of hodgepodge together. It was terrible. But it was my first experience, and I honestly really liked it. So after that, I grew the hair back out again, buzzed it off next year, and I was like, yo, I got to keep going with this. So I found a girl who goes to my high school. This is like a family friend. Okay. Our families grew up going to church together growing up. Parents are super close friends. And I knew that she was an artist. She had like her paintings hung up in the high school. Like she was super good at art. And I'm like, yo, proposal idea here. What if you drew on my hair? She was totally game for it. So the first one that I really, really did was purple flames. I put flames in my head, and she did a fantastic job. The artist was great. And then I just knew that that's what I wanted to do. Not to be like that, but I felt so cool with that on my head.
Okay.
Dennis Rodman's my inspiration. Jeremy Sohan's my inspiration. These are professional basketball players that I've seen dye their hair. And I just wanted to keep building on the idea. So after that, I've done Spider-Man. I've done a SpongeBob design.
A SpongeBob design?
I had the SpongeBob flowers in my head with like blue sky as the background.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and I had the Starry Night one. That was my favorite one so far that I came into the year with that you saw. Mm-hmm. So I would say at this point, I've been dyeing my hair for about 3 years now. It's been 3, maybe 4. It's been 4 now. Since I very first did it, and to now it's been 4 years since I totally been dyeing it, and it's just so fun to me. I think it's a great way to express myself, and honestly, I think that people like it. I don't care if people like it. I do it because I think it's cool, but the feedback that I've gotten, people really rock with it, and it's just kind of like, I don't see anybody else doing it. Obviously, there's people doing it, but it's not a very popular thing. I just like being myself, and I think it's a super cool thing to do. Nowadays, I'm probably changing my design every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks. I get semi-permanent dye, not permanent dye.
Oh, okay.
So it fades. Right now, I have the Halloween design, but you can probably see it if you look at it from the back. The black's fading a little bit to green. So it's about time for a new design. Hopefully this week, I will be getting a new one. But yeah, about every 3 weeks, I change it.
That's so cool. So yeah, the first time I saw you or noticed, it was like the Starry Night. And I'm like, how did he do that? That must have been okay. Do you dye your hair yourself at this point? But did that design? Did you do it yourself?
No, unfortunately, I am not artistically talented at all. But I got the ideas of what I want in my hair, so I just give my hair designer the idea, and then they are the one who draws it on. I say hair designer. I try to act professional. It's not a hair designer. I just have friends.
Okay.
But the Starry Night one, honestly, did not even take the longest, which was so surprising. It was this summer when I got it done. And I went home to the girl who's a very good artist, and I was like, yo, do you think you could draw the Starry Night? I mean, that's crazy. It's a Van Gogh painting. How do you ask somebody to draw the Starry Night? She was so down for it, and it turned out fantastically.
It really did. I was so surprised. I'm like, wow. I think I have not seen anyone. I've seen a lot of designs on like people's haircuts. That sounded weird, but I've seen different designs and haircuts and all that stuff. So that was really impressive. So shout out to her.
Yeah, shout out. And my girlfriend's the one who dyes it now. She's done the most recent design. So shout out to her. I've seen, like you said, I've seen other people do it a lot. So when I started with the flames, that was based off of other people's ideas.
Okay.
I did the SpongeBob one because, Pinterest is great. I get all my ideas from Pinterest.
Pinterest is amazing.
Probably a top 3 app of all time, honestly. Instagram and Pinterest, top there. That's where I get all my ideas. There's an Instagram page called Hair Expressions where I can get ideas from. But now I'm really trying to work into some original ideas. I'm trying to figure out something that I haven't seen be done yet. So
maybe we should ask, to throw in the comments what hair designs, ideas Kyler should have next throughout next year. Who knows? Just throw them out there.
If anybody has any ideas, please let me know. Please let Ari know. Ari, you gave me a fantastic idea before we hopped on the podcast. We were talking New Year's fireworks, like a little abstract dark hair with some colorful fireworks coming out. I think that would be awesome.
That I'm really excited. If you actually do that, I'm very excited to see that.
I will do that. I can make that. I can make that promise now.
Okay, awesome. So shout out to your girlfriend and everyone who helps you make that happen because it takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
That's great. So talking more about you, what other things that you like to do, like hobbies and stuff?
Honestly, since I've been growing up, I've been a huge sports guy. I've talked about basketball, talked about my inspiration for the hair being Dennis Rodman and Jeremy Shohan. Basketball is my favorite sport. I love playing basketball at the rec center up here at SEMO. That's something I do to fill my free time a lot. I love to hang out with my friends. Having fun is number one for me. That's like my life thing. I never want to stop having fun. I always want to enjoy my life. So just getting out with my friends, enjoying each other's company is fun. Making content, something that I've been doing a lot recently that hasn't always been the case, but recording and editing videos I've been trying out and getting better at, so that's been a lot of fun. I like to go thrifting. And get clothes from Goodwill or other spots. These pants randomly that I'm wearing right now, I got at a pop-up thrift at SEMO last year. This group of guys travels to college universities around the U.S. and sells clothes, and they came to SEMO, and I was like, yeah,
that's so cool.
Something else that I do, oh man,
you do a lot, and I concur with you. Say you always like to have fun, and I've noticed, and I know a lot of people will agree with me that everywhere you go, you try to be so fun, so hyped, and just get an energy with everyone and anyone, and that's amazing. And also, I talked to Matt, like how you guys became friends and started the Hot Five podcast, and he was like, yeah, now we're best friends, and I just met him 2 months ago type thing. So that's really cool. Like your energy is so amazing all the time.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's definitely something that I pride myself on, something that I make sure that I do. I love being positive. I think making an impact on other people's life. You never know what somebody's going through. So if you can bring a little bit of positive to the situation, I love to do that. I think that it's hard. It's hard for, not for me, but for some people to be positive. I mean, you think about other people. Other people go through so much hardships, and I can't say that I've gone through any hardships, which is why I'm so positive, because I think I've just lived with great opportunities, right? But being positive is definitely something that I love to do.
Okay, so I was gonna ask if you've gone through any hardship, or not necessarily hardship, but something particular that has helped you maintain that positive energy and always having that mindset.
Honestly, I gotta be straight up, not for real, Ari. I
Okay.
have lived a very blessed life, and I try my best with every opportunity that I get to not forget that. I try to maintain humble and blessed that I've lived such an amazing life so far to this point. Maybe a hardship would be sort of getting poked fun at and bullied in elementary and middle school growing up was something that I definitely struggled with,
Yeah.
and something that definitely hurt me. I remember conversations I would go to my dad and just ask him how to handle that, because, you know, he's my dad. He's been living life longer than I have, so he's gone through some of the same sort of things. And my dad really told me to bring humor and bring positivity to everything. And I've taken that since he told me in 5th grade. I've taken that to the heart. And now I just try to make a positive impact on as many people's life as I can.
That's amazing. And also, I do want to ask this. How do you react, or how do you manage? I know you said you don't care about like how you use your hair and different ways to express yourself. How do you manage maybe a little criticism or how people react to it? And you're just like, I'm just being me. I'm happy with that. Because sadly, some people are so afraid of just being themselves, and they're like, I'd rather not do it and all that. How do you manage that?
I've never been a person to care what other people think of me. Now, obviously, I take criticism well, I believe. I love constructive criticism. I love people being negative, because all I see is that for ways to improve. I see that as improvement. But I forgot the question.
We're talking about how you manage the criticism that maybe you receive, maybe positive or negative. And you just said, I think that's powerful what you just said. People being negative, you just see it as a way to grow instead of taking it the wrong way. So can you talk more about that?
Yeah, I think that in life, you really get what you see. So that's something that I try to live on. It's very easy to be negative. It's very easy to be positive. I think when you're being negative, it's harder to become in that positive mental state. But you really do see what you want to see, right? So let's say I got a bad experience with a Toyota Camry. You're going to see a Toyota Camry everywhere in the streets that you go. Say my favorite color is purple. I'm going to notice purple in more things than someone whose favorite color is blue. So somebody who thinks positively about things is going to see positive in more situations than somebody who thinks negatively about things. Something that's really important to me is just a positive mind. I love to look on the great side of things, look on the outlook. Life's short. Everybody's different. And so expressing myself with the hair is just something that I thought was fun, and why not try it out? When I tried it out, I didn't know if it would last for long, and it has this far. Maybe when I get a corporate job, I'll have to stop dyeing my hair and stop having fun with that, but we'll see until then.
Yeah, exactly. Keep doing it until you. I actually asked you a question like, would you dye a logo of the person, the company you would like to work with? And obviously, I would love to see that if you actually do that. I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, shout out ESPN. I love ESPN. If ESPN does hire me one day, I will get a red E in my head if they allow me to do so.
That would be so cool, not gonna lie. I'm excited for that. So wrapping up this segment or this episode, any advice you would give someone, especially people who are afraid maybe to express themselves and receive criticism or something? Yeah, more on that. Any advice?
I would just say that it's just something that I have really learned or something that I've learned and something that I take. Let's see. Let me think about how to word this. People are always going to think what people think. You can't change somebody's mind. You can't change what somebody thinks about you. And in general in the world, people are negative. People have a negative mind towards things that are not them or things that are different to them. I think having an open mind is great, and I think having a positive mind is great. So I think that's something that I would hope to give advice to people for. Just think positively. I know it's hard, but it's really all we can do. Life is short, and I think it's way too short to not spend every moment being blessed that we're here and being happy that we're still living and we're still breathing. Life's a great gift. So I have so much fun with everything that I do, and, you know, just being here is great. Doing everything is so awesome.
Basically, life is a life worth living, and live it to the fullest.
I would agree.
I love that. So thank you so much for being here, sharing your story, and answering so many questions regarding your hair, especially. This was so much fun. Thank you, Catch, Kyler, and Matt in the Hot 5. And as for me, I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thank you, Ari. Hot 5 podcast on all platforms.
Yes. Thanks for listening to this episode. Make sure to subscribe. And if you want more stories, listen to Chapter 1.